Hey, AfterBuzzers, we're checking back in with chapters 8 and 9 of Dear White People with a special guest. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, we've been keeping it lit with this Kendrick for the last 2 weeks now, Nate.
Yeah. Hey, I remember
Hey. We had to let that beat come in. Hey. What's up, AfterBuzz TV? This is the after show for Dear White People, and we are sitting here with our amazing, talented, and sassy guest, Jemar Michael. Hey, and we know him as Al.
Hello.
Al. So, just so you guys know where to find me, my name is Raquel Harris. You can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV. And where can they find you?
You can find me at Jemar Michael. That's JemarMxChael. That's my handle for everything. So.
That's very precise. Hey everyone, I'm Ivanna Williams. You can find me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams.
What's going on, guys? It's Nate Miller. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate.
Ew. And so sorry we do not have TK back this week again, but we're wishing you all the best. So, to jump into it, we start off with Lionel, because he's starting to kind of feel a little bit bad about, what's been going on. But we kind of go back to his story a little bit about why he joined journalism, because he's kind of quiet. And, I feel like journalism is that route that you go when you want to be very outspoken about something, but you don't really want to say it yourself. So I know we have some J majors on the panel. How do you feel about that? And do you agree with why or how he goes about his the way he wants to voice his opinion?
Yes, because I'm an introvert just like he is, so journalism is the perfect career for an introvert. When you have so much to say, but you don't want to go out and speak somewhere, just let me write down my thoughts and just hit publish.
For sure. And then we also talked about in this scene how he was with his two white friends and he was talking about why didn't Reggie comply. How did you guys feel about that? So in the beginning, he was talking about so the two white friends were saying, okay, they were going over what's been going on with Reggie's incident.
They were internet comments.
Right, internet comments.
Trolls personalized.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
right.
That's who they are. Personified, because that's
Well, I thought
who
that
they
was
are.
great, even throughout the episode, just the way that I love this new trend of being able to show social media and digital interactions visually, and the way that they showed the comments, and then later when they do I think it's the app is called Boner that he's on.
Yeah.
The way that you see them
Just
present their profiles and stuff, I think it's really cool, especially because right now, we're so immersed in our phones, and I was thinking about this today, so many important conversations I have had have been over text message or over email or rarely will I call someone, but so much of our life happens online, and so to be able to visualize those people making those comments, and seeing them act it out, you get so much more than just them showing the lines or something, or him reading them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They could easily just put up text bubbles and be like, this is what I said and this is what he said. But no, I really appreciate that as well. And regarding Lionel and releasing all the stuff on paper, I thought that was interesting too, because I'm not a journalist, so I can relate that to me acting and expressing myself through my body.
No, for sure.
And stuff like that. So yeah.
And then we kind of we segue to Gabe and Sam, and they're still dealing with some of their issues. I personally just feel like Gabe knows. Do we feel like Gabe knows that she cheated, or does he have just a huge hunch? Because he's kind of acting like he's already treating her as if he knows.
I don't think he knows. I don't think there's any way for him to know, but I think it's definitely a hunch that is there's just a lot of evidence in the way they're acting.
It's very heavy on his heart. Definitely.
It's weighing down,
Gabe's
I think there's also precedent too in that, and just in the way that they've interacted beforehand, and then that weird situation of especially being able to boil it down to a specific moment where you were supposed to be here, but instead you weren't here. You were with this other guy, and now you guys are acting weird together, and it's clearly obvious to everybody else that he's way into you.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm 99% sure I have no concrete proof that you did this, but I know.
Right. And they have history, so it's
we all know.
And then later, they were behind that bush, and Lionel caught them again, and she's like, you know what, I don't have a reason to do all of this with Reggie, and Reggie's like, well, I kind of want more. That was just a little taste, and I'm just okay, I agree with you now. I'm maybe Reggie is in here for the long run.
See, I told you.
No, Nate was right.
I was right.
Nate was right.
Write that down.
For real. Right. Hashtag Nate was right. No, it was just weird to me, but I do like the conversation that Lionel had after that with his teacher.
Yeah.
The conversation that he has with another gay man is very interesting because I feel like I liked when he was like, no, don't call me a girl. I'm a man. So, and you are openly gay.
Yes.
And how do you feel like that? How was that different from someone who is possibly hiding their sexuality in the industry? Because I want to jump into your artistry too.
You know, honestly, like when he would call it, girl, like my gay friends do say that to me, but it took me a very long time to get used to it because I wasn't
everyone's open to
I
that.
wasn't down at first.
Yeah.
Like I was just like Lionel. I was like, no, I'm a man. I like men. Like, what you mean? Like, stop.
Right.
But then eventually, I'm just like learning about like hypermasculinity and like all of the stigmas that come with trying to be masculine and like, are you like masc and femme like when it comes in the gay world?
So
it's like,
it fits in perfectly with the themes of the show, and that not to have a pun, but things are not always black and white.
Yeah.
You know, there is a gray scale, and we are so quick to put people in one box or the other that it's hard to even find out who you are yourself because you're so worried about what box people put you in, what box you think you fit in.
Right.
It's really cool to see Lionel throughout the process of the show go through this phase of like almost coming to terms with the fact that he's gay and then like accepting and being okay with it.
Yeah.
And then even treading the waters of like, all right, well, how do I do this?
Like, how
now
does
that
this
I know.
work?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which is it's so interesting.
How
to
do I
see.
navigate through this life? But also on the term of girl, I would see a lot of straight women think that it's okay to say girl to gay men. And I've had to I'm from the South, so we don't really even try to tackle stuff like that. It's just like whatever. But I've had to learn that it's not okay. And I know some women who have done that. I see it often, or they'll be like, oh, he's just like one of the girls. It's like, well, but no, because he's a man. That's how he identifies. And for you as a straight woman, you are to respect that.
Absolutely. I think you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
Like because I think when it comes to that point where you're calling like when I'm like calling my homie like girl like talking to him like that like we have established a relationship along the lines. There's history. Like it's not like we just met off the street, you know what I'm saying?
It's just like the N-word, right? Like you like not every black person says the N-word colloquially, if you once you establish a relationship with that person, then you can have a dialogue and dabble, which words to use or not to use. One of my longtime coworkers that I worked with is a gay man, and I remember like after we met, a couple times after we met and we actually started hanging out, and I made some joke about girl or I said bitch or something, and he was like the way that he approached it showed me that he's dealt with this before, and he was like, look, I know you're not trying to be offensive or anything, but I am a man, and I'm a homosexual man, but I'm still a man, and I may live my way this way, and I may be flamboyant and whatever, but I don't like to be called girl, I don't like to be called bitch, and then I was like, wow, I never even thought of it that way. It's that thing of like it's not it's not intentional, but it's the implications of it on a wider scale of like the emasculation of homosexual men by calling them girl.
And I was going to say that I like to use the term sexually fluid, but like what you had said about do you feel like that takes away some of the masculinity from a man when you refer to them, whether they be gay or straight, as a female?
I think one of the things that has really enhanced that in culture now is RuPaul's Drag Race. I find that like the drag culture has become such a commercial thing now that it's like they say it all the time on the show.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's fine. Like, that's what they do. But I think that because that's one of the main things that's out that's like fully gay show,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like
I think even in like just in modern culture, you look at hip hop and all of the big upcoming hip hop guys are all wearing, quote unquote, effeminate clothing
because it's
high
Uzi
fashion
right now.
Exactly,
like
with
his
his
outfits.
purse and his pink,
Like
$1,400 shirt, which he's proud of.
Whatever
Chanel.
that was.
Yeah, the light up Chanel
But
bag.
but they're also presenting this identity of like I'm a man, you
Yeah.
know, I'm
Right.
still hard, whatever. But this is how I want to dress because I like how it looks.
And we
so-
also, oh, sorry, my God.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and we also kind of touch on that with with Troy, when he says that, you know, as a straight man, I'm forced to not have any emotions. And I'm in this world where it's like, it's not okay for me to be sad or to be emotional. I have to always be so rock hard. So, I mean, I think that that's interesting. And I've never really, I guess going into it, when I see Lil Uzi and I see, you know, all these like Young Thug and Migos even wearing like the turtlenecks and things that are seen to be more feminine, I never put them as feminine. I just say, okay, he's either metro, like you have a metrosexual type of vibe, or you like diamonds and
like fashion.
Yeah, right. And that's really what it is. It's fashion. Like that's,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think anything weird of it until I saw the purse. Now that's when my mind was like, okay, why do you have a purse on?
Right.
But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, I mean, it does come in handy.
Right,
I
it
mean,
does kind of
when you,
look good.
when you
with
have
the
all them
outfit.
bands,
Right.
you have to have something
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
carry
you gotta have
around.
something
Yeah.
to carry him in.
You're just gonna have the cash falling out of your pockets.
Absolutely. And on top of that, Prince was a very, like,
Prince is a fashion
Prince,
icon.
yes. And a lot of
He was
people,
always pushing
assless
boundaries.
A
chaps.
man's man,
No,
too, at the
okay.
same time.
Exactly.
Like, there's no question.
And no one, I don't think anyone, I mean, maybe they did question his sexuality back then, but I don't feel like it's as hard as they're being on Young Thug and all these different artists. And whether or not
Right.
they're gay or not, what difference does it really make?
Right.
So, but no, moving on, Lionel's with his teacher, and he's saying that he wants to have a story about Troy because he feels like that's going to help the image of the black man at that school, which is so backwards to me. I hate the fact that we have to use a less innocent looking black man for you to get your point across. What did you guys think about that moment too? And do you feel like that would help to some degree?
I mean, that's kind of like Troy's pretty light skinned. Yeah, it's kind of like light skin
Right.
privilege right there. But I mean, that's the media for you.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
like-
it's a very tricky line to play with.
Yeah.
But I don't fault the thinking because I think it's just because we don't necessarily like the solution to the problem, you know, we didn't cause the problem. So we, you know, we don't have any control over what the stigma of the black male is. It sucks that Troy has to be put in that position to try to like present a new image and change that idea, but at the same time, at least in my opinion, I think it needs to be done. It sucks that it needs to be done, but something needs to be done about what the overall opinion of, you know, black men is. And if it's being able to point to examples of successful black men who are well-spoken and, you know, accomplish things with their lives, I think that's good. You know, I don't think it's good. I don't think it feels good to be the figurehead and to feel, you know, as we see that he feels all this pressure of having to portray this perfect, you know, black youth.
Okay.
But I understand the thinking. I understand the motivation.
Yeah.
Same.
I guess I've heard, so this is maybe far-fetched, but a lot of people feel like if we would have had a dark-skinned president, that wouldn't have went through. They felt like Obama was an easy push through for.
I agree. Being biracial, the fact that people still tell me, oh, he was our first black president, he's biracial. He's black and white. He's not our first black president. He's our first African American and Caucasian president. He's biracial. He's both at the same time. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, to touch on that, I think we know that he is biracial. I think the issue with him, with us or the black community referring to him, and even the white community referring to him as the first black president, is because when you walk outside your door, they don't think of you being
No, I
biracial.
know. You're right. On my birth certificate, it says African American.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, does it really? It doesn't say, it doesn't have a cross?
No, there's no mix. It's just, that's it. Yeah.
And I didn't know. That's,
Yeah.
so
I
do
think
you,
mine says that too.
Where were you
actually.
born?
But I'm mixed.
Burbank.
Oh, okay.
okay. You said yours says that too?
I think so.
Wow.
I gotta think about it or like look
I
at it
don't
again.
remember
But I feel
mine
like it does.
because I was born in Texas, so ain't no telling what's on mine.
It's
probably
either
like
on there or
Negro
it's not.
still.
But my
Mine-
whole life,
Oh,
like
no.
even recently at a party, I was having this interesting, you know, discourse with this guy. We have different opinions. It's okay, like exchange of opinion. But then he has the nerve to ask me, like, well, do you feel more black or more white? And I'm like, I don't understand why I
More
can't
black,
be both.
Monday
why do
through
I have to
Wednesday,
be,
more
Why do I
white.
have to be one? You know,
Thursday,
it-
Friday.
so just to go back to the president.
Yeah.
it's just that, you know,
it helps that he's also the president's son.
it does. It does. But especially, you know, at least in relation to Troy is black. He may be light skinned, but there's, you know, unabashedly black. I mean, but just because his father raised him in a way to be counter to what, you know, we perceive as most urban cultures, there is still a whole, you know, part of the black community that is that Chicago, you know, northern bred of history of family of all being, you know, successful business people, all going to college, all speaking that way.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not black because he's not urban. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I don't think you're, just because you grew up in an urban or suburban community, I don't think you're less or more black. I think you're black regardless of what experience you have. It doesn't matter. I mean, with Coco, for instance, as an example, I don't think she's less black because she wants to wear a weave, or she doesn't want to accept her own blackness. She's still black as day. It just, I think it's just more so of how you want to identify yourself to the world. If you don't want to be, I don't know, if you don't want to be black, then I guess, I don't know, because then I feel like it touches on like a ritual. You can, and that's another thing, you can identify with being black, or you can want to help the black community and not, you know, necessarily put yourself into it. So I mean, I don't know, it's a weird situation, I guess, but I mean,
at the end of the day, it's trying to, you know, it's self-identity and like how you associate yourself.
Yeah, because you don't want to, like, as a biracial person, you don't want to take away from one of your parents.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably the issue that most biracial kids face, is they don't want to love one parent less or feel like they're not, you know, incorporating them into their life. But at the same time, when they step out of their home, I do feel like they're bombarded with more black culture than anything, because when I look at you, I see a black man.
Right.
I don't see,
and that's what most of the world sees.
Right.
I think fortunately for us, I think because of culture, you know, clashing as it does with time, and there being more and more mixed people and more mixed babies and stuff, from the time when we were younger, and like I can just speak for me personally, even going to school, and yes, I was definitely exposed to more black culture, and you know, my dad definitely made sure you know, Black History Month every month, but it's still, at least at that time, it was hard to connect with the black kids because I wasn't black enough. And
I can agree with that. That happened to me in school, especially like, so my like elementary school was predominantly white. And, like, I didn't think about that until, like, you know, recently.
Yeah.
I, like, thought about my class, and I had, like, it was, like, me and maybe, like, 2 other black kids, like, all 6 years. And, like, never really thought about it, but, like,
I know the feeling.
my dad's black and my mom's mixed, so, but my mom was also adopted. So, like, she was raised in, like, a white household. So it was, like, so I had, like, half and half. Like, I had my black side and I had my white side, but, like, it was interesting because, like, I always felt like I was, like, I could just fit in with the black kids, you know? And, like, but that wasn't until I got to, like, junior high when kids are just vicious. And then got there and it was, like, no, the black kids just wanted to pick on me, but I was black enough for everybody else.
And was it because...
Exactly. When you're not with the black kids, you're the black kid.
Right.
But when you're with the black kids, it's like, oh, here comes, you know, light skin over
High
here.
yellow. Like,
Yeah, no, and that's... I'm not biracial, but I got the you talk white when I was growing up,
Right.
and that irritated me the most because I was like, do I talk white or do I just sound more educated than you do? Right. Do I just enunciate things and not a slight to black kids out there who, you know, don't speak proper English. It's just more so of the fact of, just because my parents took the time out to educate me or to take more time out to just teach me things to a more of a in depth, then that doesn't make me less black than you, or if you wear a weave, if you wear cornrows, if whatever you do, that doesn't take away.
It's like all these stigmas of like what you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
And like just let people be.
To bring it back to Reggie.
Right.
You know, it's that's why I think like I said, the motivation is good to change that stigma of you sound black because you talk this way to you sound like a person because black people are capable of speaking on a spectrum just like everybody else.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's got their colloquialisms and their urban talk. It goes all different ways.
For sure. Well, then I want to jump into Troy and Lionel at the club, because we actually get to see one of Troy's prior roommates, and he's also gay. And I like that. I like that Troy is the black man that's okay with homosexuality, because I feel like that's often not the imagery that we see on a daily basis, especially from like a type, like, just heterosexual man. That's typically never, especially not like having a roommate twice in a row,
and especially not in the black community.
Exactly. And so I it's very refreshing to see Troy, and even though I don't like how he treats Coco, I really was not on his team in this. I'm not. It made me, we'll get into it, but
it meant a lot for me to see that, because I think as straight people, some of us think, well, if this guy has a gay friend, then he's probably kind of sus too. And that's not true. It's just, it's two humans hanging out, because we can do that. And it's okay. That doesn't, that you don't have to come for someone's sexuality in that way, because two people can just be friends, and that's all it is. So it meant a lot to me that he doesn't talk to him like as if he's one of the girls. He treats him with respect and with dignity, so it meant a whole lot. I like seeing it together.
He even says, like, I'm just out having a drink with one of my homeboys.
I
love the way that they play with expectations. Just to go back for a second, like earlier episode when he goes, I need you. And then they cut to the cutting down, and they're like panting, like sitting next to each other, and it's like, what's going on here? And then they're playing Smash Brothers on PlayStation 4 controllers.
I definitely thought it was like a circle jerk or something. I'm like,
no, I love that, because like that type of relationship reminds me of, like, he's basically my brother. I've known him since I was 4, and like, he's straight as an arrow, but like, it took me like a while to really, be comfortable with him and knowing it, because I wasn't sure if he'd accept it, but also real. Like he traveled a lot, like he moved around a lot, but like when we always came back, like it was like nothing ever happened. He found out and was like, dude, it's whatever.
That's awesome.
Still, he like loves me even more, like, and we're like closer than ever. Like even my other best friend, who I've known for like 10 plus years as well, like, it's funny, he'll make jokes about it with me, and like joke around other people to make them comfortable,
to make them relax,
and then I don't have to do any work. So like I've been really like blessed to have like really good people in my life who are able to be like, yo, this is my best friend, don't fuck with him.
That's definitely a blessing.
That is a blessing. That is
really
a blessing.
Seeing that interaction with them when they're playing, and he makes that joke, and he says pause, and then he makes the joke about how, like, well, wait a minute, that's kind of homophobic, in a way, if you think about it. And
I didn't know
I hate the pause thing. I hate it.
I've never heard pause be referred to in that way. I thought it was like no homo. That's what I thought it was.
It's the same thing.
I've never heard pause.
I've never heard pause either.
Yeah, I was like,
it's a newer.
Really?
All the young kids. You guys are too old.
Because like some of the guys, like
all the young kids are saying
like
it.
a lot of the guys, are afraid of saying something that comes off sus, so they'll be like, pause, my bad. Like,
I thought pause was like a just stop right there. Like, regardless, I don't know if it could be gay or not. I just thought pause was just like stop. Like, right, hold up. But I like in that scene that Troy opened up to Lionel about him not having a mother in his life, and him not having a father in his life, and then Lionel makes a joke saying, well, that's why I became gay. And I feel like that's such a misconception that a lot of people have about homosexuals, is that, oh, it's a choice. I'm choosing to be gay. And I feel like that opened up a whole nother realm in the black community that a lot of people don't understand, and the Christian community as well.
Right.
So
because a lot of people do believe that it's choice, and it's like,
it's so horrible.
And I mean, and I'm not saying that I don't think that some people can get tipped off in a trend, because I do feel like when Nicki Minaj and like Lady Gaga and all that started to happen, everyone was like, okay, I'm bisexual.
Right.
And it was like, okay, so are you, and that messes it up for the gay community, because we're actually fighting for a cause, and then you're just like, okay, no, I'm just gay because it's fun.
Try it.
It's fun. It's cute.
I just want to dip my toe in the water.
Yeah.
Right.
You said not dip my toe in the water and see what happens.
Just
something, not too much.
Right. But no, and then we go a little bit further, and we see Nika and Troy and Lionel at the party. And I don't know, I guess to me it's a little weird with Nika now. I just feel like, I don't know, is it not weird? I know they're all grown, but it's not weird to you guys that she's into a student?
That's always weird to me. Student-teacher relationships, even though it's college, it's just weird.
I mean,
I mean,
don't know.
yeah,
She
you're
looks
grown,
good.
but it's like.
I'm just saying.
Really?
She do, but it's still
Really?
weird.
It's Nia Long, so we just gonna
Right.
We get it. She fine and everything,
Right, she hot.
but it's still weird.
If we can act, I mean,
Oh God.
No, I want
one
to know.
of the really good things about this show, which I think these 2 episodes you're talking about really illustrate, is how people are not one-dimensional, and especially in the arts. Sometimes for time, sometimes for the sake of the story, characters are presented that way because they have to fill a purpose.
Okay.
With something like this, part of the reason why I love that they adapted it from the movie is that all of the characters have dimensions, right? So just like how we see Sam and it's like, what are you doing? And like
Yeah.
it's not, you don't root for her the entire time because she's a person. She makes mistakes just like we do.
Right.
So in that vein, I don't think it's completely implausible for Troy, being who he is, the figure child, obviously around at a lot of the staff stuff because of his dad,
Right.
very good looking, very well
like at least
spoken,
21.
very mature, right?
know?
And this very good looking teacher who is around a bunch of college age,
It's very
football
taboo.
Like it's very
just
taboo.
taboo.
But I mean, I think it would be naive to think that would like never happen.
I mean, I guess
Sure
I feel
that it
like
happens.
it's
Right,
like
that's a thing. I'm
yeah.
just glad it's not in high school.
Yeah, that
Like,
would be. Yeah,
I
that
just-
would be.
I-
Very
That's not
different.
even.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I hate and love Troy at the same time because I don't like how he was like, well, like how you said he's sitting at the table with his homeboy and then he's like, but what about Coco? And he's like, okay, forget Coco. Even though I'm not really here for Coco like that either anymore. But at this, I don't know. I do like in the he goes into these fantasies and I love how his teacher just kind of comes out of nowhere like as a ghost and when he's asking for him to pee for him. And
Silvio?
and he's
Yeah.
like, can you just, well, do you mind? And Lionel's thinking like, oh, this
Not
is
mine.
it. I was like,
This is the moment I'm about
hilariously
to kiss.
This is a
intimate.
date.
That was so funny.
Aw.
I'm like, and I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I was like, Lionel, just stop, hun, because you
Right,
don't know.
But see, and it's also too the same way with someone who's heterosexual who has a crush on someone who just does not like you. Like if I just don't like you, then I just don't, and it's just not, obviously it's a lot more extreme because he's just not sexually attracted to you at all. But I mean, I guess, well, either way. But no, so, and I, kind of going towards the end, I don't know what's going to happen because I have not watched episode 10, but I'm probably just going to go home and watch it. But I'm trying to, like, save myself from
You're
everything.
doing very well.
Thank you.
'Cause it's so easy to be like,
Yes, because
Next.
Netflix is like,
I
okay,
went
just
ahead and binged.
Yeah, I'm weak.
right, I binged it last
weak.
night.
see. I'm trying to. I tried.
I applaud you.
No,
Yeah.
I'm.
There's
it's
no way I
different.
would have waited this long.
I know. No,
There's
season
no
2 is
way.
gonna be a wrap, right? No,
So,
it's got no.
Prank.
We're hoping. For
There has to
My
be.
God.
I feel good about it. I feel good. Like there's something about me, like about the feeling that I have for it, that I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. I can
absolutely.
feel it.
I hope so.
I'm ready.
I hope so too. No,
I'm so
I'm
ready.
juiced. You gonna come back?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Please.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please come back.
Absolutely.
So, I forget who shows Lionel the Sam blocking off the magazine edited by the Black Student Union and says white people suck. So I'm gonna say this. I didn't like that. I didn't like that Sam did that because you now are giving another message that's completely wrong from what your actual message is. And
Right.
it's the same with Black Lives Matter when people are killing people and that's not what the message is for, and then people get confused and they're like, that's what Black Lives Matter means. It's actually aggressive or it's military or militant. And I don't know, it just made me kind of think like, I know you guys are angry, I know that Black people are angry, but don't go down to that level, and then white people are now coming back and saying like, oh, you're censoring us, and it's just this back and forth. And I love how Lionel's like skimming through his phone, like checking everything, because I feel like it's so true to how our generation is. Like when we're trying to catch up on something that's going on,
It's like Twitter.
yeah, it's like, whoa, wait,
happening?
and you reading like, what is
And then
this?
Twitter goes live now, so it's like,
Yeah.
Live is just the death. I think we need to kill everything live because people are just going too far with.
crazy.
No,
outside.
we're in too
Too
deep.
much.
Yeah, no,
Better
but
get used to it. Everything's gonna be live all the time.
all the time, right? Exactly. But then that kind of it inspires or it motivates him more to write about Troy and his story and how he has to be 110%. And then we end with Troy coming into the room and saying that he wants some friend time, but he ends up falling asleep and Lionel rests next to him. So that's how we end out 8. And I think that was I like it. I thought it was so cute. No? Was that
cute.
weird?
I thought it was cute. I've definitely had
thought it was
some
a little
cuddle
weird, but-
sessions, like
I
some
was a little
straight,
confused.
hetero, no sexual,
Yeah,
like
little
cuddle
cuddle
times.
session.
Cuddle time, spooning.
sweet.
No, it wasn't
That's
spooning.
it's not like full on spooning, but it's like
It's
they're like
bro
next
love.
to each other, like bro love.
Yeah.
like,
Bro
you
But
know?
correct me if I'm wrong. That usually is like consensual and happens like at the same time. Usually they're not sleeping, and then you just
Oh,
kind of
no.
like creep
Yeah.
up on
Somebody,
them.
somebody
creepy.
crawls
That's
up in your
like-
bed.
Yo,
That's
what
what I
up?
was
You're
saying.
asleep.
That
But
Let's
he
cuddle.
invited
I'm saying like if
He
you're
invited
like,
him in when he was awake. Like, and I'll be right there. Let me just finish this. Writing this essay is gonna take me like 3.5 hours.
I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, is he? Maybe he was
And
coming back
what
to
was
it.
he? What was he? He wasn't he like watching TV or something before he started
He was
writing?
skimming.
Sweet ass time.
He was doing something else.
He was just skimming. Well, he was skimming through his phone, but I don't know.
Bro, you have a cuddle session. Like, why are you taking your time, dude?
No, I mean, well, he had an
Because he wanted to
article.
wait for him to fall asleep.
No, he
And
had
say
to,
no.
Y'all are just doing. I don't know what Nate. I don't know what you got. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Right, that's the
No,
word.
definitely.
But going into episode 9, I thought this was the most hilarious intro because I don't know her name, but the white girl, and she's talking about why are we not? We need to find a husband and get married before our lives are pretty much useless. And I'm like, so you're fighting
Muffy.
sexism? Okay, Muffy.
That name is so fitting. God,
It is Muffy,
Muffy.
from Arthur. I just think of Arthur.
Muffy.
I do. That immediately just comes to my mind. But she's pretty much protesting or saying that we should fight patriarchal mindsets and sexism and misogyny by getting married to a rich white man and then not doing shit
Franco
else.
Chaser.
So I'm
Franco Chaser.
yeah, it's like how literally like I'm like, so you don't realize that you're completely like becoming a hypocrite, or you're going into your own issues and you just. Did anyone think that was
I think
weird?
that shows that it shows like how white feminism is essentially. I mean, they talk about dismantling patriarchy, they talk about sexism and all these things, but they're still problematic in the sense that they perpetuate these things. And I was very appreciative that they showed it because these are things that I think a lot of black feminists have been speaking about, that we've been showing. And it's not that we're not problematic as well, but I just really appreciated seeing that scene because it's exactly how it
true.
goes. That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, because I've met people firsthand experiences where a white man or white woman was like, you know, I have to do this in order to find my husband, and then they drop out of college, and that's it. Literally, like it's in 2017, like that's still a thing, and I don't know if that's every single white woman, but I'm just saying, we're
it's
okay.
empty.
Nothing in there.
My
It's
bad.
lit up in here, y'all.
good.
But no, but no, and I don't know. I think that's interesting, and it's funny that they touched on something that didn't include the black community, but it does mean something to the black community at the same time, because a white woman can easily have these answers solved in a blink of an eye, and it did get solved for her, and then we enter Coco a little bit more. So,
herself.
Nate, did you have something that you like? No.
No, I don't. This is kind of out of my
No.
experience. I mean, I thought it was. I'll come up with something. I mean, I thought it was really interesting
fine.
to see again another one of those scenes that we've seen before, like another callback to it, and kind of see more of what happens around it. Again, it lends to this world that makes it feel like it's real and the characters are real. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. The way that I saw it was not that she was trying to dismantle the patriarchy, but that she was saying like, this is bullshit. This is what I have to do. I think what she says is like, this is what I have to do in order to be something, or be like a woman
Right.
who means something, like because of the bullshit patriarchy or something. So I'm sure she's not a fan of it. I don't think she was trying to dismantle it by going that route, but I don't think she was happy. But then the guy comes up and
And she's fine.
But the thing is, she didn't have to do it though.
No,
So
Especially not as a white
why
woman.
speak out against it and then you do it like 2 seconds later?
I mean,
so
that's what people
She's
do.
also on 80
They
They
milligrams
complain
of
about
Adderall.
things.
She's also on 80 milligrams of Adderall. You guys remember that part?
Yes. No, I was like, how is this gonna fix him with Reggie in that scene when he broke into the teacher's office? I was like, but okay. But no, I like how we kind of have a montage of Coco again, and she's talking about how she pretty much has, in order to find herself, she needs to find a man, and she's always been that way because she's always been inspired by some way, shape, or form by some man. And I think that's interesting, and I like that it kind of goes away, like you said, with Muffy. Women have this issue, and I do feel like it stands true today in 2017, that we feel like we're not relevant, or we have more relevance if we are married or if we are with a man. And like, for instance, you're from the South, I'm from the Midwest. I know it's very strong in me to be like, okay, I want to get married by like a certain age. And obviously in the entertainment industry, it's different. So, I mean, you can, you know, but by 30, I feel like most women are kind of like, you know, what's happening?
What's
like,
going on?
right. Like, is it ever gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, what's, you know, and men, you know, you guys can procreate forever. Whereas, shut up. Yes. Misogynistic. But
That's right.
No, I'm just joking.
I can't even say yes.
Oh my God.
so
No,
misogynist.
Nate. No, I'm just joking. But
Sit here and be quiet.
no, I'm just saying.
Feminism.
Men, you know, womanism for me, but no, you know, men can procreate forever, and so I do feel like women it taps into our minds a little bit sooner, because we're like, okay, once you hit 35, it's gonna be some problems with them embryos, and you know, we just got to get it together. But it made me sad that Coco, she feels like she is nothing without a man. And I don't ever want, like, the day that I start to have children and I have a daughter, I don't want my daughter to think like, oh, you're meaningless, or you're pointless, or your value is less because you don't have a man by your side. And Coco, amongst all the issues that she has, I feel like this is one of the hugest issues that she also has to deal with too, because she just has a lot of insecurities that I just didn't. I don't know.
The girl needs therapy.
Well,
She does.
Yeah.
She really does.
Yeah,
Everybody needs therapy.
she has to battle like this colorism and just feeling inadequate. But I think too, yes, I see that sometimes, especially like I say every episode, I'm from Texas, so definitely women are trying to get lock that thing down by 20. But we see more and more that women are, you know, we can defy that. We don't have to have children at 35, because women are getting married later and they're having children later. So Coco
Or at all.
Right.
Coco is definitely stuck in this mindset that she needs to do this, and that's what I want to see in season 2, is her like finally understand that she doesn't have to have a man. You don't have to leave college engaged, or you know, have a long-term boyfriend to be someone, to be the successful black woman that she absolutely can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And to turn the table around on the men, do you guys feel like there's a pressure on you at all to have a wife or to be with someone?
For me, I no.
No.
I mean,
No pressure for the wife.
no, not for a while.
For a part.
No, but like just even for like a partner. Like I'm in a relationship now, but like that.
Tell us everything.
I wasn't really searching for one when it happened.
Those are the best.
Like, you know what I
Usually
mean? Like,
when-
I'm just
when
like,
you have a good
I
one.
was fine doing my thing.
Yeah.
You know, being out here, you know,
Kicking
popping,
it, okay.
slit,
That's that Scorpio,
and then
though.
it's just like, oh,
You come along.
hi, who are you? And now we're 3 years later.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so
That's
thank you.
awesome,
Thank you.
right.
Cute as hell.
Thank you.
Okay, right. 'Cause we trying to make it.
Thank you.
But no, and then we go into Coco confronting Lionel about the article that he wrote about Troy and his dad, and how he feels like his dad doesn't listen to him, and all that sorts. I feel like Coco's very abrasive. She's very I don't feel like she needs, if I was Troy or just any man that she's ever dealt with, I'd be like, girl, that's none of your business. And you need to stay in your lane, figure out your problems first, and then maybe we can talk.
That's where I agree with Troy when he told her, like, we never discussed this.
Because they
I
didn't.
am
Yes.
very much on, like, we need to discuss this, or I'm still
didn't.
doing my
They-
thing.
He did lead her on, but they
about
didn't
it. If we didn't
discuss
talk
being in a
about it, though,
relationship. That's so true.
You know,
I was like,
you
why is
have
she so
to.
flabbergasted right now?
Right, I'm just like,
duh.
girl,
Because
y'all
in
never
her
made it
head-
official.
Okay, but Troy, I'm not trying to say Troy. Nate, I'm so sorry.
Crazy.
Nate, could bring
Wait
it
a
back.
minute.
Right,
Wait a minute.
Right, that's a shot.
Hold up.
That's a shot.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Troy? Why? Because he's light skinned, so we're all the
Figurehead,
same.
puppet, you know.
No.
Anyways.
Oh,
What was the question?
no. I was saying like. I don't even know. Not the figurehead. No. Do you feel like Coco was out of line by addressing Lionel on behalf of Troy?
I mean, in her head canon, with them, you know, being married and, you know, soon to be first, you know, president and first lady and
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. Her mama bear, like,
Senses
kick you.
popping.
But in reality, no, they're not official. And also, I think, like, I can understand from an outside perspective, if you don't really know the relationship between Troy and his father, like, how it can be like, wow, you're really putting this out there for everyone.
Yeah.
But if you know them, like, it kind of needs to be talked about. It's a big deal, ends up actually having an impact on their relationship.
Right.
So, I definitely, I don't agree with it. I don't think it was, I think she was
What
a
did she
little
say
bit
to
out of
Lionel?
line.
It's not all it's cracked up to be or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I
not.
mean, I mean, girl, but were we ever together? Like, you're mad about something that never existed.
Right.
Like, that's not, but hey.
That's like the crazy thing when it comes to relationships, because I've had like some of my girlfriends be like, so I think he's my boyfriend. Like, I think.
So then he's not.
But I'm like,
Or he's my boyfriend, he don't know
my
it.
first question every time I was like, did you guys discuss this?
Right.
But I think
Did you talk about
that's
it?
a big problem that our
And every time it's
generation
no,
has.
right?
Every time.
Say that again. I'm sorry,
it's
Nick.
So I think that's a big issue our generation has, is having, the conversation and
Yeah.
being like honest
Right.
and like.
So what are
Honesty
we?
is,
People
like,
are afraid
hard.
of asking that, but it just gives you the clarity that you need.
Right.
I feel
Telling
like-
around it is just gonna make it worse.
And I've been in those situations where, because I feel like oftentimes it's the boy that's telling the girl, but I've been in those situations and it's like, this is not what I want, this isn't what we planned this out to be, but you do need to have conversations because conversations do clear things up. So we go into more of Coco and Troy, and it's the montage of them talking, then eventually having sex, and then that's when they have their... And I was just like,
That was a
honestly,
buzzkill.
It
When
was.
She was like planning their future. I'd be like, get
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
That's right. That's when you put the hand
Off.
on the mouth.
Yeah, like you should have had a VA girl. Like this is.
Oh,
not-
you would have kept going. I'd have been like, we gotta stop. If I was
No, stop.
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Next,
What
like
did you
I
say?
It
She
ruined-
said-
it just
she
sounded
said
like
you
it's ruining the
first.
I was like, let me hurry up.
Ah,
Let me just finish.
now let me hurry up. Let me hurry. I gotta go.
I mean, again, we have to
This
look
is
at
the
what,
I got things
what
to
is
do.
Troy
Right.
looking for out of the relationship.
But see, I thought
Right.
because later on, they go to the event and he's obviously enjoying her because she's educated. I know, but I just feel like she has context. Like it's not like she's just some random girl. Like she's a beautiful girl. She's educated and she wants more for herself. Like why? I mean, and we don't know why Troy may or may not be attracted to her or want her on that level. But I don't know. I just wanted to get into the fact that her wig fell off while they were having
Yes.
sex.
That was hilarious. That
That
was
was
so
one of my
black.
favorite
It's so
scenes.
black.
That's never happened to me. But
Happens
people.
to me all the time.
Your wig
Right,
falls
right.
off.
Your wig just
falls
falls
right
off.
off.
God,
Mid-sex.
that's so
disrespectful.
And I feel like there's so many videos on the internet where that's happening, where someone's like dancing and then and I'm like, have
Right.
y'all not
I
understood?
just saw one about this girl in the pool.
Yes. Oh, shade room. Shout out shade room. Right. No, because I'm just like, where? But I liked that it all came back together because he
Right.
threw his do-rag on and it was cute.
I thought that was like a moment of like, okay.
And you said that was your favorite moment.
That
so
was
talk
one of
about
my
it.
favorite moments just to see on TV, just to like see Troy let his guard down and then like see Coco just be like stripped bare just for a second.
Because
Just
that's
for a
what we look
second.
like when we set aside the politics and all this stuff. Like when we come home,
Right.
it's the wig
The
off,
wig
the bra
off,
on,
the makeup comes
the bra
off,
off.
like, all of
yeah,
that.
Yeah, well, that's
what
how
we
you know
look
when you
like.
really care about someone. Because
Yes.
Right.
there's that person that you present on the outside, and then there's the person that you are when you wake up in the morning. And when you
Right.
find someone that is
I
like,
always kept my
damn, you
wig
look
off,
good.
though.
Like when you wake up in the morning, that's the person you want to be with.
So how do we? Oh, go. No, go ahead.
Which
Nate.
probably leads to why Coco felt the way that she did and had the outburst that she did to
Definitely.
find out
Yeah.
that even after that tender moment, he doesn't
they still
think of
didn't
her in
discuss
the
it.
same way.
Right. Okay. But she's so smart but so dumb at the same time.
Didn't they talk
And she's
about it
just,
like
like,
earlier when they
naive.
hooked
She's
up?
silly in love for Troy.
Right.
It's just him.
I don't think that they talked to.
I thought
personally
he
don't remember
said
them
something
talking
like,
about
"Oh,
it.
we're just like messing around." I thought he said something like that. I'll have to rewatch.
He
one of the
probably
earlier
did, and
episodes.
she,
But they just kept going.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, we're becoming official.
And a lot of times women associate sex with intimacy, and it's not always that way. Or it's not, or romanticism more so. And I feel like, some women, some men need to understand that that's not always the case. Some people can have a platonic relationship without it being
Right.
any emotions or feelings. But
Right.
so how did we feel when she had her entry without her weave?
I love seeing her natural hair.
I liked
too.
that
I'm
scene.
like, finally.
When I saw her that day, it was like,
right. That's how I feel. Oh my god.
I was just in love because she's just in the wig the whole time.
Yes.
Like especially in the episodes that I'm in, I only saw Antoinette in the wig.
Yeah.
And so to see her finally just like it was like a moment for Antoinette and a moment for like Coco too.
Yeah.
Because it's like she was always had to get her hair done, put it on, so it's just like she just like, got to relax.
Yeah.
All set, she's
Yeah.
like, put my hair down.
I mean, I'm
It
sure
looked
it's
good.
also for any, again, not a woman, but I would imagine for any woman who does do that that reveal of her natural hair being recepted well, and everyone's like, wow, she looks great. That's a big moment. You don't see that on TV a lot. That's not like
the natural hair journey and like the chop and like all that is.
We're
like
just starting
so
to see
deep.
that more. Like even in How to Get Away with Murder, when Viola Davis, Annalise Keating, we finally saw her like getting her hair done with Mary J. Blige. Her mom was greasing her scalp. I was like, yeah, because this is what we do and it's what it looks like. So I'm so appreciative of a black woman to see what I do at home.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I think it sucks that we're having to go on this natural hair journey, though. I mean, I think that kind of bothers me. Like in the 60s and 70s, obviously, like it was Black Power, like that was the huge thing, and all natural hair. But and as a person who's never had a relaxer, never had a perm, never had, I've had weaves and stuff like that, but I guess in my mind, like that's what I used to get teased for when I was growing up, was having the nappy hair. And so when I got older and now it's like, oh, we're embracing it now it's cute. And I'm happy to see that people wake up to things, at some point. It's late, better late than never. But it does bother me with, I guess, like with the black community, because I know, I understand there's not as many resources and a lot of people aren't educated on certain things, but it bothers me that black women are just now accepting their own beauty and understanding that it's been beautiful from the jump. Like it's not something that we have to, but hey. But no, so we jump into Troy and Coco at the event, and Troy's, like I said, enjoying Coco. She's having but we get in. No, what, Nate? Tell me.
It's just like he's enjoying her, but like you have to look at the situation. He's there with her in a party
to show her off a little bit.
Yeah, and also, but like, who else is he gonna enjoy himself with? Who else is he gonna talk to? Like, it's a room full of stuffy rich white people and investors and stuff, and a bunch of other adults and school officials, like,
and
it's
his
not
dad
like
that he doesn't want to deal with,
right?
And who really doesn't want to deal with him, because we kind of touched on that too, and why they actually are there as props, as Nika had said.
Right.
And so they're trying to possibly take away their $10 million donation. And I like how one Nika stepped in and was like, sorry kids, you guys, this is obviously not grown enough for you to understand like what's going on. She educated them, and that's what I think too. I also wanted to touch on how Troy didn't understand why she was moving forward with the engagement. I don't know if you guys heard that, like, while watching it, because she was talking to Troy, and he was like, are you seriously gonna go through with this? And she's like, this is what a mature relationship looks like. And I'm like, how do you not? Is this, in my mind, I'm thinking, does Troy really want to be with her instead of Coco?
Probably. It's that same thing where, like, in Coco's head, she has this fantasy about Troy and who she wants him to be, and who their life will
and
be
so
together.
he kind of has that for her.
He has the same thing. It's when you can't have something, it just makes you want it
so much more.
And so he has this idea in his head.
Is that a man's mindset? Do you feel like more?
I mean, again, I'm not a woman, but I feel like for most people, you want something more that you can't have. I mean, maybe it's just
I think that's natural.
thing.
We always want what we can't have.
Yeah, because once you can have it, it's like, okay.
It's like, I got it.
I get it.
So now,
this will do.
What's the next thing?
I'm not woman. I'm not a man. I'm not putting this only on
to
men.
refer to people in that way, but the reality is, people feel that way.
Nate's like, let's just keep it real. I mean, it's not, she ain't
trying to
real
be
true.
around the bush.
No, I want you to give your male perspective or person into individual perspective.
don't
I'm not projecting anything
put me
on
in
right.
a gender box.
No.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, I didn't like how Coco interrupted them though. She just pushes to. It's just like, this is not your business. I know that you're trying to like be a part of his life, but in the end, in the episode, it ended up being like, no, I don't want you. And I have to say it in a harsh way now.
I wasn't a fan of it, but I still liked watching it because, I mean, it goes along with the agenda that she has and finding a specific man. So she's trying to play the game, and she shows that she knows how to play the game. And Troy don't, and he doesn't care.
No.
Right.
So seeing that and seeing how smart she was, how like whip smart she is, and she can have that conversation with them, I was like, yes.
I just didn't like what she said. I like that she went over there to kind of see what was going on, to kind of break it up, but I don't like the secrets. Like, it's like, just walk up and be like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Hey, what's going on? Like, you're an adult.
The other part.
Oh, no. Well, no, I agree.
You're talking about with the money.
Yeah.
She definitely shows her intelligence, and I like that about Coco. I think that Coco is a very good helpmate for Troy. But I don't feel like Coco likes him for him, and that's what ended up coming out. I feel like you just want a man who's powerful,
It's all about the
educated.
image.
Yeah, it's the imagery, and I feel like you don't really care about the person on the inside. Otherwise, I mean, because what are you going after all these white guys for?
I think Coco is that person that will do whatever it takes to get what she wants.
Absolutely.
And so at the end of the day, regardless of how she feels about Troy, I think deep down it's not even about Troy, it's about getting to where she wants and her feeling like she needs him as part of her, you know, toolbox, whatever, to get her to where she needs to be.
Absolutely. Well, and then we get to your scene where Coco's crying in the bathroom because he's told her off, like, I don't want to deal with this, and she has a conversation with Lionel, and she says to Lionel, it's not as great as you think it is. But it's like, girl, how do you know? Because you're not in a relationship with him. so how would you know what's good and what's not good? Like, and I just feel like, I'm
so
sorry,
catty.
and maybe I'm being harsh, but I just feel like, girl, like, get a grip. First of all, you in college. What's your finals looking like? What's your grades looking like? Because I'm sorry, but I just don't feel like this is what your main priority is right now. Like, figuring out, like, if anything, try to, like, work with Troy and be on the same, you know, board or something with him, or talk to his dad. Like, instead of trying to bombard yourself into his life, which is so intrusive. Like, just mind your business. And
yeah, well, we definitely see why she does it. There's an agenda in episode 10. It all comes together. So,
well,
Yeah.
hey,
I'm gonna watch that when I get home.
It all makes sense. I'm like, okay.
So,
She
and
presses hard for a reason.
right, well, hey, girl, just settle down. Just take a chill, just 2 chill pills, and we'll be good. But Coco and Coco decides to go down because they want to stop the protest that Sam has in store, and they end up going down there. And she tries to have like a little homegirl moment with Sam, but then Sam's like, "No, I know what you're doing. I know what's up, and I know that Troy put you up to this." But then that's actually not the case. But Troy does follow along right behind, and then she calls them Uncle Toms, which I thought was like, "Ooh, can you imagine being called that? Like, what that would."
Ooh, that's where we're going?
Yes.
That's,
Yes, Nate. I'm not about to do it with you. Why? And how does that
I'm
make
just
no?
saying, I've been there. I've been called Uncle Tom. It's happened
No,
to
I
me.
wanna
That
know.
experience of, especially when you're confronted with someone like Sam, who feels so strongly about what she feels about, that any type of opposition, any type of opposing opinion is met with, well, you're on the other side then. You know, if you're not with me, then you're against me. There's no room for discussion of like, well, you know, here's why I feel this way. What about this? What about that? If you disagree, it's because you're working for the man. So I'm not surprised, especially with the way that we have seen her escalate throughout the series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she's
like a radical by the
she
end of
is.
it.
And,
Like,
and I think that's one of the best things, like, about the movie. You see, you know, that develop more in her of like, she feels so strongly about these things, but her life doesn't necessarily represent exactly the things that are coming out of her mouth.
Right.
And so it's that meeting of the two of like, all right, well, let's be realistic here. You know,
Right.
does the does all this stuff need to be protested and talked about? Yes, but is the way that I'm approaching it really constructive?
Right.
Okay, Nate. I feel you. No. I mean, I mean,
hear
it's.
that.
I think it's. I guess like when you have those those conversations that are, I feel like seemingly black and white. I think that's really what it is because people do often think that there's no gray area, that you can't think a little bit off of the spectrum. I think it's hard because we're in such sensitive times where, for instance, with our conversation prior, aggressive can get someone killed. Aggressive or calling, you know, those types of things that are so sensitive in the black community. I think we just try to make sure that it's not turned that way because it can easily go that way without us having to say anything at all. So I think when I feel like me as a black person, when I hear another black person say something like that, it's like, you know, what's going on? The same way with an interracial relationship, I'm like, I don't think like, okay, you don't like black people, but at the same time, I become curious, and I'm like, you know, where
It's just emotions. It's it's not like an issue that you're like, whatever, you know, I feel this way, but it doesn't. It doesn't sit with me all the time. You know, it's a current, ongoing feeling that you're dealing with, and so when you're confronted, especially in a high pressure situation, you react with emotions. It's just I think how Sam reacted of like, you know, especially with it all of this stuff happening and the protests coming, you know, it's just about to happen. She's getting all these people ready. She's like, all right, we got to talk about this. Yada, yada,
Right.
And they're coming in saying, hey, you know, I don't think you should do this.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of money on the line. She's like, what?
and you
No.
do you feel like that the Uncle Tom part more so from the black community?
Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously it would
Yeah.
have to be, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
I think it's just a feeling of betrayal, and I think the Uncle Tom is just the way that she decided
says
to
it,
express
yeah.
it, you know.
Well, we end off the episode with Troy going off on Coco again and saying that you should. Well, and she shouldn't have come to the radio station because that's not your area. So stay in your lane. And then she says, "Are you breaking up with me?" And he's like, "Girl, you're delusional." Just straight. And I'm like, hey, I was like, I'm sorry, shoot her. Because I was like, please, just take her down. But like, no, because
Coco.
it's not about her being.
I wasn't expecting her to ask that. Are you breaking up with me? Like,
Yeah,
I really wasn't
delusional.
I really wasn't either.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't at that table read, so I was like really like,
What? So what would Al have said? If Al was there, what would Al have said to Coco?
I'll probably laugh at her.
Yeah.
Like straight up be like, did y'all even talk about it? Like
Start
straight
a
up.
hashtag. Did you even talk about it?
Right.
For real.
Hashtag did y'all even talk about it?
Right. This is a reach. This is a hashtag. This is a reach.
I'm out.
Right. But I
There's
like.
your answer, boo.
Okay, right.
I'm out. I'm out.
Right. I like how it all kind of ended though, because she said, I feel like Coco's character though is a maybe a makeshift animation of Michelle Obama. I do, because she's from Chicago. She even refers to herself as the second black president, which hopefully, 2020 girl, please Michelle, get it cracking. But for real, and I thought that she doesn't have any issues with her being her blackness, but at the same time I was like, okay, she's dating a light-skinned president who's also referred to as Barack Obama, and I'm like, okay, Michelle, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's like a play on it or not.
Well, that's the whole thing that she constructed in her head. Like, the past few months, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
For sure. But
Definitely fitting.
But she also she continues and says, I'm smarter than you. I'm going to get more ahead of you. And when I'm the second black president of the United States, I'm going to forget that you ever existed. And I was like, wow, this is, I was like, no, you won't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all of that is true except for the last part.
Yeah.
She'll be in the
Just
Oval
like,
Office,
I hope you're right.
Pull out her
I'm just
journal
like, shade.
from college.
So shady.
Yeah, and then she ends off saying, I can't believe I took my hair out for you.
She
And I'm like,
she had me, and then she lost me. I was like, because I was kind of with Troy because obviously their relationship wasn't locked down, so she was coming out of nowhere, but he kind of approached it like a dick.
yeah.
He did.
And then
a
she
little
bit.
was like, I was like, wow.
But that's classic Troy.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I
as a
think
plot
sometimes
device-
I think sometimes you do have to like let people down, but it's just gonna come off as a dick. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way around doing it once it's like in this
Sometimes
deep. And
you
just gotta
someone-
be clear and
someone
concise.
is, like,
Exactly.
that
When you're
deep
approached-
into it,
when
it's
you're-
just like,
yeah.
here's the honesty.
There's already some miscommunication that's happened
Yeah.
if she feels this way, so you just got to make it blunt so there's
Right,
no more
right.
confusion.
Just be like,
Yeah.
hey.
But just, man, she was on a roll, and then
Yeah, I know.
Hair for you. It's like, what? Wait.
What sucks is that she really believed it. It was so
it was
genuine.
sincere,
It
yeah.
was so genuine. And then she literally, like, I feel like she left out of the room like
she
a
has
breath
such
of fresh.
goal in mind though of her life that she's
Yeah.
just like, it has to follow this.
So I guess on to the next one, right?
Yes.
On to find her own Barack.
I guess.
Well, I think, at least I'd like to hope that she has reached some type of self-awareness to where she feels a little more confident on her own. I don't know
Well, we
if
see
she's
that
quite
in
there
10,
yet.
in episode 10.
Hey, it's okay because I'm gonna watch it when I get home, so it doesn't even matter.
But he'd already said that she did become more militant, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we do get to see another side.
For sure. Well, Jemar, I hope you enjoyed your time here. And before
I
we
had a
get
great
into our Dear White
Great.
People segment,
Love y'all.
tell us what we can
you.
look forward to in the upcoming future of Jemar.
Ooh.
Mm.
You probably see me in season 2 so far. I'm just back to auditioning.
Yeah,
You know, I'm auditioning. I had a casting today. I got some on Friday. So we just grinding right now.
Yeah.
We're grinding.
Well,
We're
Black Boy
grinding.
Magic.
I hope
Black
it works
Boy
in your
Magic.
favor.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
For sure. So we're gonna start off. I already explained to you a little briefly about the Dear White People segment. Nate, would you like to start off today? No, you don't want to start off today.
I-
Come on, Nate. You gotta be prepared.
I'm not prepared.
You knew.
Can I go last?
Yeah,
You can go
why don't
last.
You go last.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
just
start it
think of
off.
one.
If you guys want me to start off. Do you have one, Ivanna, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you on me? Camera? All right. Dear white people, understand that there are many different black experiences. I can't remember if I've already said this one before, but if a black person is doing it, it's a black experience.
Cool. I'm gonna say, dear white people, please just let go of Jesus. Jesus was black, and it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. You will be okay. Because a lot of people, you know what? Where it came from? I'm tired of seeing people depict Mel Gibson and all that good stuff. Stop depicting Jesus as a white man. That's not what he looked like. Just hang it up. It goes into cultural appropriation too. Just stop it. His background was Arabic and Egyptian, and ancient Egyptians did not look like Mel Gibson. So, yeah, that's my dear white people for this week.
Okay.
So it's
all right. Dear white people and all people of any colors, I can be black and white. People of mixed races can be a multitude of different things.
Yes.
Don't try to put them in a box.
Okay.
I'm just gonna relate this to what I ate earlier. Dear white people, please use more salt on your food. Thank you.
Oh, and that's
In other seasonings.
Oh, right.
In other seasonings, please.
No, let's just
You
go
can
to
double
Walmart.
the amount
Right.
of the seasoning on your food and then your soup.
And this goes on with Nate. Like, get rid of the dab. A dab of salt. And
Yeah,
just,
that should be a weekly reminder. Just know, again, retire the dab. Leave it to the
Dab's
professionals.
Leave it alone.
Right.
The professionals.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another amazing episode. Well, 2 episodes of Dear White People. We will see you guys next week. But before we do that, we're going to do our goodbyes. You want to start from the end, Nate?
Sure. Again, guys, you can find me at DogLikeNate on all social media. And I also host the Silicon Valley After Show and the Better Call Saul After Show.
Thanks, everyone. I'm Ivanna Williams. You can follow me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams.
Thanks, everybody. You can follow me at Jemar Michael. That's JemarMxChael on social media.
And once again, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yay.
Thank you
Please
for
come
having
and
me.
visit.
Thank you, guys. This
It
is
was
great.
turns.
This is great. It was lit.
Great
Thank
conversation.
you
lit.
so much. It really
Yeah.
was. And of course, you guys, my name is Raquel Harris. You can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.